This is actually the second church in St. Paul's. It was founded in 1804, but the congregation outgrew the church about 3 times, and so by the 1820s, they built this. I was sent here by the bishop. That's how it works in the Episcopal Church. The deacons are sent by the bishop, and I wasn't very happy about it at first.
And you said you walked in here.
I walked in here, yeah, I got about 3 feet in, and I just did one of these, which most people do when they come in here, is you just sort of look around and you look up and your mouth drops open because it's just so amazing. People come in and say, "Can I see your Tiffany windows?" And I say, "You don't want to see the Tiffany everything else?" It's the pews that are Tiffany. Yes, it's the columns, it's the stenciling, it's the wallpaper, it's the carvings. It's just absolutely almost everything. There's 5 or 6 things that are not Tiffany in here, and that's it. We know that the diagram for the altar rail is in the Metropolitan Museum of Art. So if you look up Tiffany on the Metropolitan Museum of Art, you can find the drawing of our altar rail. The first thing they did was the ceiling, the roof. So the roof now has these trusses, and it rests on these, well, they look like wooden columns, but they're not. There's steel inside. It was $69,000 for the interior without the windows. That's a lot more money now. The Tiffany women, the women were primarily responsible for the lamps. And the director of the women's group was Clara Nash. And Tiffany thought that women had a better eye for color and a finer hand. So their job, part of the job, was to go and pick out the colors that they would put in the glass, because there are so many shades of every color. There are so many shades of green. When we look at the David window over here, you can see that in the leaves. There are so many different shades of green, and those are all separate pieces of glass. Tiffany's just an amazing artist. He considered himself a painter in glass. Now this window right here, see Jesus with the halo?
Yes.
That halo is always white, because it's done in the glass, not from the light. It's several layers of white glass. When Tiffany makes a design, they obviously don't have a computer. They can't just say, "Oh, let's show you what this is like and this is like." They make watercolors. And we actually have, it's called a presentation watercolor, and we have the watercolor for that window. The window is called the Vision of St. Paul. St. Paul's here down on the bottom, and there he is on the bottom in the middle in that one. And it's not exactly the same. Where Jesus is sitting is he's standing in front of his throne, and it's got a lot of fleur-de-lis on it. Here they are. They're everywhere in the church. Mr. John Isaac Thompson is the man in the lower left-hand corner, kind of a tall guy, white hair, beard, teal robe with something. That's Mr. Thompson. We have his picture. This window was put in by his widow and children. This is something Tiffany would do. Particularly Mrs. Thompson wanted her husband in the window, so there he is. I've been here 13, 14 years, and I'm still finding things because there's just so much in here. It's just so amazing.